Well, good evening, Everstrong family. Happy Wednesday, March the 4th. I hope you all had a wonderfully blessed day today. Once again, we're gathered together for the reading of God's Word, and tonight we have the great pleasure of examining Genesis chapter 2. Now, this is the chapter where opening, God is finally resting from all of his work of creation. In fact, that's the verse that we're going to look at. It's Genesis 2, verse 3. And God declared the seventh day as holy, because this is the day that he rested from all of his work of creation. The reason why that's very important, and the reason why I wanted to start off by addressing that immediately. Firstly, I'm going off of memory here because I left my Bible at home, so bouncing back and forth between screens just wouldn't work for me here. But the reason why that's a very important thing is a lot of people these days don't see the Sabbath as being necessary. A lot of people tend to argue that because of Christ's coming, we don't necessarily need to follow or adhere to the Ten Commandments in the same way that the Israelites did, which is, in all reality, is false. Now the thing is, Christ's two commandments that he gave, which is love your neighbor as yourself, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Those two commandments actually cover all of the Ten Commandments. It's just summed up in a way that's a lot more palatable. And his entire point was that was the essence of all of the original Ten Commandments. But the reason why the seventh day was there, brings into question, why did God rest? Did he need to? No. We're talking about the omnipotent or all-powerful being. He didn't need to rest because his work of creation wasn't even remotely exhausting for him. He did it because he, as we quote yesterday's passage, was pleased with his work, and he was ready to take rest from all that he had done. He was doing it, living out the example that we ought to follow. Just as Christ did while he was here on earth, we were meant to follow in God's example. We were meant to work, to do our duties, to get our things done for 6 days out of the 7-day week. But on the seventh day, it was meant to be a day for us, not against us, not to be a day filled with rules and regulation, but a day that we were meant to spend in peace and rest with God and ourselves. Now, the rest of the chapter, of course, goes into the creation of Adam as well as Eve. It goes into the creation of all the living animals, and of course all the animals were created, but it goes into the naming and the taming of all those animals, as well as the cultivating of the earth by Adam's hands. The reason why I didn't want to focus on that is because I wanted us to fixate tonight on the aspect of rest. Where are you in your spiritual journey? Are you tired and worn down like myself and many others are? Maybe it is time that you need to set aside rest for yourself, to be at peace with the Lord your God and acknowledge we have times where we are to work, and there are times where even God said we are to rest so we can be at peace and be ready for the day that is to come. I love you guys.